So this is the station where we talk about how our soul is like a bowl of ice cream. So I tell the children, do you remember when you were baptized? Were you baptized as a baby, or were you baptized whenever you were older? Some of them remember, some of them don't. I asked them, what happened when you were baptized? And they said, the priest poured water on your head. Yes. But what happens to your soul on that day? I try to get them to say their soul has been cleaned. It's been purified. Purified of what? You were a baby or you were a kid and you didn't have sins, personal sins. What were you cleaned of? They will originally come up with original sin. They'll start to remember, oh yeah, we learned about that in class, original sin. What is original sin? When Adam and Eve chose to disobey in the garden, and we all have original sin, the effects of original sin. Those effects are on our soul, and that's why we need to be wiped clean of that at our baptism. So after baptism, our soul looks like this, clean, very pure. But what happens whenever we start to make bad choices? So I ask the children, what are some choices that your friends make that are bad choices? They will tell me, well, my friends lie. And I'll put sprinkles on the ice cream to show them your soul gets dirty. What else do your friends do? They'll say, oh, I punched my friend. I'll put more sprinkles. They'll just tell me various lies. I'll put more and more sprinkles based on what they tell me. Then I ask them, what happened to my soul? They say, it's dirty. I said, how do I clean it? Who can clean my soul? They said, well, pray to God. I said, if I pray to God, does it clean my soul? They will say, no. Okay, how can I clean my soul? Only God can clean my soul. How do I do that? They said, go to confession. Eventually, they will get there. So I'll tell them, okay, let's say I go to confession. I tell a priest all the bad things that I did. What happens to my soul now? They say it's clean again. Okay, so we talk about this. We talk about whenever you go to Mass, every time we're at Mass, there's the beginning prayer. I confess. And at that time, we're actually asking God to forgive our sins, our venial sins, not our mortal sins. So every time you go to Mass, your venial sins are forgiven. But you have to think about the bad things that you've done before Mass begins. So when you get to that moment, you say, I confess in front of all of you people that I have sinned in word, in thought, in action. Then in those moments, God is forgiving our sins. So it's a beautiful thing the kids can remember that they are given an opportunity at every single Mass. The other thing I remind them is how many times you need to go to confession a year. They will usually say one time. I agree. The church teaches one time a year. But I would encourage you to try to go more often. I try to go once a month. By trying to go once a month, I may go every other month or every 2 or 3 months, especially in the summer when things get really busy for me. But at least trying keeps it in the forefront of my mind. I need to remember to go. So I also talk to the children, how do you know that your soul is dirty? Like right now, I know that my soul is clean because I went to confession. But whenever my soul is covered with these sprinkles, how do I know that it's dirty? And the children will usually say, well, I know the bad things I did. Okay, that's one part of it. Know the bad things you did. 2, to feel sorry for them. So when you examination your conscience at the end of the night, you're actually thinking about the bad things that you did so that you can confess them, so that you can change your life. Every time that we go to communion, we actually receive the grace of God to be more and more like Him. So the more that we try to be like Christ, we will also receive graces every time we go to the communion and every time we go to confession to be more like Him. So that is our goal, and that's what we taught the children at this station. Thank you.